Hello and welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. This is Andre from PSD Box, and in this tutorial I want to show you how you can retouch a portrait like the one that I have here and turn an image like this into something like this. So again, original and retouched portrait. We will use the frequency separation technique to retouch a bit the face of this man, and then some adjustment layers to get the final color and light effect that you can see on the final result. So let's get started. Great, so before we start, let me show the layers panel that I have here. So you can see I have a few layers that make up my background, then I have the layers of the man and some adjustment layers. This is to crop the man. I have them two separate layers. We'll use the screen blend mode to remove the background, and then we have a few adjustments for the top layer, which is which you can see here. Then we have some stamps, and again these two layers are for retouching the skin using the frequency separation. These two layers are for the frequency separation technique. Then we have some adjustment layers, some stamps, light effects, color effects, and then the final effect and some retouch on the eyes. So the reason why I chose this image, because I like the expression on this man's face. I liked it, so that's why I chose this image. So to start, I already have the image copied on the clipboard. So what I will do is press Ctrl Command N and paste the image here. The only thing you have to do is open the image, and you'll have it on a background layer like this, locked. So in order to unlock it and turn it into a normal layer, what you'll need to do is press and hold the Alt key on your keyboard and just double click on the layer, and it will turn it into a normal layer. Let's name this layer Original. And before creating the background, let's let's clone this part of the man's teeth and put them on the other side, because we have this gap here which I don't really like that much. Okay, I think it looks nice now. And on the original image, you can see this tooth right here, you can use the dodge tool. I will use it destructively now. It's not a big deal. Just a couple of passes just to make it a little brighter. See that? So I think it looks a lot better now, this than this. So okay, and what I will do now is select both of them, press Ctrl Command E to merge both layers. On the original, I just converted into a smart object, but it's not necessary to do that. I just did that because I wanted to remember that I actually fixed this part of the mouth. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is retouch the face a bit before I remove the background, and I will use the frequency separation technique. It's really it's a quick technique to use, and it's really effective. So what I will do is create two layers by pressing Ctrl Command J twice, and I will name the middle layer Light, and the top layer I'll name it Textures, and this one Original. So the frequency separation technique, it's a very commonly used technique on retouching. It allows us to retouch the lighting and the color of an image without affecting the textures, because we will have the textures on its own layer, so we can remove skin blemishes on this texture layer without affecting the colors. You'll see it's really easy. And here, the only thing you need to do is just sample. For example, I want to remove this part here. So what I'll do is press and hold the Alt key, sample from somewhere nearby, click there, and just paint over it. Again, make sure you have set this to current layer. Otherwise, as you've seen, it doesn't work. And that's it. Just paint over that. What happens if I set this to normal? You will see that even, let me set this back to linear light. Even if I select a texture from here, where you see I have this highlight, if I select this from here, I can paint it here, and the highlight is not copied. Because if I set this back to normal, you can see we have no color information here. The only thing we have here is grayscales, texture, but we don't have color information. That's why I can paint with the clone stamp tool. Okay, so I just copy textures from one place to another, but I keep the lighting because I have the light information on this lights layer. That's why this technique is so cool. You can work on textures and on lights independently without having to worry about anything. So let's hide parts of the skin that we don't like. You'll see that we can even remove hairs with this. So for example, I have this one here, I don't like it. I can sample from here and just paint over it. And the only thing I'm doing is I'm copying texture from here to this part that I don't like. But the lighting is the same because I have the light information on the layer below. Okay, so let's keep moving. Let's keep removing stuff from here on the eye. I don't like this part. Next, I will want to change a bit the eyes, make them stand out a little more, so I'll create a new layer. Get the brush tool. Make sure I have the flow and opacity to 100%, zoom in. Change the brush size to more or less the size of the eyes, like this. And the hardness at about 70 or 80%. And choose a color similar to the eyes. I think these eyes are brown, but this one here I can see it's kind of blue, so I'll use the blue color. We can change that anyways after we do it. So what I will do now is just click once there to add the color. My computer is starting to run a little slow, and click there once again. So we have the color. Change the blend mode to soft light. You can try other blend modes. Maybe overlay will look better. Now create a layer mask and use the same brush but with hardness set to 0 to remove on the layer mask. Paint with black on the layer mask to remove these edges a bit, because we have the edges of the eyes that they should not have any kind of color on them. Also, here in the middle we should remove the color there as well. So just remove the color on the center of the eye and in the middle. See that? Now, of course, this is too extreme, so I would probably use now, select the layer itself, press Ctrl Command U, to open the hue saturation, and here you can change the color of the eyes however you want. You can use the hue saturation to change. You can use the hue slider, to change the color of them. And maybe probably decrease a bit the saturation. Yeah, increase the lightness and saturation a little lower. Of course, you can also use the opacity of the layer itself to do that. I will leave them blue, or maybe a little towards green. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so before and after. If it's too strong, just decrease the opacity of the layer.